Liz, can I have a sound check, please?
Good morning and happy St. Oh God, good afternoon. Happy
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day. God, it's Monday.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Yes, absolutely. Buster, can I get a sound check, please?
Today is traditionally the celebration of Saint Patrick driving all the snakes out of Ireland because there are no native snakes to Ireland. So he did everybody a favor apparently.
We're in business. Perfect. Thank you
Or
very
was
much
he
for that.
just so or was he just the one that convinced everybody he did it?
Side note,
Yes.
there is a theory that he actually drove out a small civilization, a population of pygmies
Okay.
who are black, but they're known for having this tribe is known for having a snake as like one of their big
Oh,
symbols. So there's
that
like this
makes way more sense.
there's a whole possibility, although it has yet to be proven, that it was because they traded. These people were wayfarers, sailors and travelers, and they traded it all up and down that coast and to the islands. And there is the thought that maybe there's actually maybe he did, and it was people, not actual snakes.
I
Anyway,
see. I see.
so
Well,
Which
Weedle
kind of
joined, so
suggests that you would automatically assume then that he would have some kind of Roman connection.
mm, that's yeah. Anyway,
If that's
but
the case.
I'm not a scholar, so all I know is that it's been suggested. I've been waiting for somebody to prove it for me.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that information.
Yeah, I'm like, I would love to know. Either way, I'd love to know. It
Yeah,
would be
of
an
course.
interesting. It would be an interesting thing because, like you said, there's no native snakes. So what
All
are
right.
we
Well, there's
talking about
nobody
here?
in chat yet, but
Anyway,
if anybody comes, we'll put it to them. Welcome to the rookies, everybody. This is a Jump Rangers actual play stream. Jump Rangers, the tabletop role-playing game, is about a distant future, 300 years from now, in which humanity has been brushed aside off of our own homeworld by a race of telepathic Tyrannosaurus rexes and an army of undersaurs at their beck and call. And the only way people have been able to survive all this time is by sneaking aboard the giant motherships of the Saurian horde and spreading out into the galaxy like the bedbugs and rodents that we are, because we don't have interstellar travel of our own. And while the grown-ups are clinging to this um, ragtag existence and holding on to the present, there's a brave bunch of kids out there fighting for a future, finding new trade routes between human colonies and subverting alien extermination efforts and stealing alien technology and looking for ways of retaking Earth and everything else. We call these heroes Jump Rangers. Today we have two Jump Rangers with us. Buster the Destroyer plays Bam Bam. Buster, do you want to tell the world what's going on in your life?
Yeah. Hi, my name's Buster Destroyer. I stream here on Twitch. I mostly stream Star Citizen, which is how Tinny and I know each other, being Star Citizen folk. And this is Weedle.
Hi, Weedle.
She is cat, also known as Cactus Jack, Monterey Jack, and Jack Around Jones. But she occasionally streams. She jumps on here once in a while. But yeah, I do all that. And lately, though, my streams have been kind of weird because of the fact that I've started to become a bartender lately. I'm on the weekends. I'm normally an audio engineer, but I've also been helping out at work by training up to bartend so that they have bartenders for when everybody takes off for spring break like they did last week. So
I see. And this is,
so
I'm sorry,
anyway,
is this the kind of
yeah.
place where a person can be and might be expected to be both a bartender and an audio engineer at the same time?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Just me. Just me. Everybody I work for, I become their Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
I become the tool that they can throw at any problem and somehow it's solved. So or it's close to solved. But that's me. You can catch me here on Twitch, Buster the Destroyer, or here on Twitch. Then other platforms. Sometimes I'm Buster Destroyer, but that's me. I'm doing all right, and Whittle's gonna get hair all over my black pants.
There you go.
But I love her. But I love her, and that's okay. I'm just gonna
She's a sweetie. She's a good girl.
smack her butt. Give her a little butt smacks.
Liz
All right, go on.
is in the role of Ripper today. Liz, do you want to tell the world what's going on in your life?
Oh, getting ready for yet another Kickstarter for our cartoon, My Boyfriend is a Shark. I have recently taken over Studio Metropolis as its CEO and will be driving for a little while. Recently started entertaining book offers, which is, a nice place to be when you're a writer. And looking forward to my next big hangout with peers, which will be the end of March in LA with the Association of Writers and Writer Programs. So
That sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty
yeah,
good.
it'll be fun.
Be sure to let me know if there's a drunk meetup after the thing, and maybe I'll hop on a train and come downtown.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to Jump Rangers. I am going to start. So, today is a very special day because today we're seeing Jell take the oath and formally become a Jump Ranger and probably leave the squad. And I have a world building sort of dilemma that I've decided to bring to the game, if that's all right with everybody, as opposed to just sorting it out on my own.
It's always more fun to do it in game in real
Okay.
time.
Okay. So, how does one become a Jump Ranger? Well, one learns a number of Jump Ranger skills, which Jell has done. One learns the code of the Jump Ranger, which is something we did very early on in this particular game. And very early on is relative, but by around session 12, I think we'd covered it. And then one travels back to Earth, which is what you've just done. You've just stolen a Saurian cargo vessel and jumped across the universe back to planet Earth, so that Jell can find a place that's meaningful to her and swear to live by the code until she turns 18 years old. And Jell has put some thought into what that place might be. And you have to remember, Jell has grown up on planet Lumina, on a mist world. So Jell has seen very little of the galaxy until she met the both of you, and since then she's been to a lot of different places very quickly. Jell only knows the things about Earth that the people on planet Lumina knew. Um, and so there's a limited number of impressions that Jell has of that world and what can be found there and what might be meaningful to Jell in that regard. And before I decide where Jell is going to take the oath, the thing that I want to know and the thing that I want to work out, because it hasn't really come up before, believe it or not, because Jump Rangers takes place 300 years in the future. There's been a lot of development of our civilization since people left Earth, and there's really nothing left on Earth to speak of, right? So there isn't a lot of question about whether the past as we know it is exactly the past that the Jump Rangers are coming from, and whether the cultural institutions and whether the brands and all of the sort of leavings of our civilization are exactly what exists on Earth. And there's advantages and disadvantages to deciding that that would be the case, right? To me, the advantage is that it's identifiable to people. If Coca Cola is a thing, and if there's archaeology, right? There's no Coke left, obviously. But if there's archaeology to be done, and if Coca Cola is there somewhere in the archaeology, then that means a whole lot about the world. People will recognize that symbol, and it sort of creates a very specific idea of, okay, this is where things have gotten and this is where they've gone to, right? Um, it means that we can talk about systems of power and abusive institutions, and all of a sudden Jump Rangers becomes a commentary on real people and things that actual people have done, even though it's very far removed from all of those things. And that is potentially advantageous. The disadvantage to me is that it does invite a response from those institutions. And it does also put, and those institutions could be anything. Those institutions could be a government. Those institutions could be a brand. You know what I mean? And if Jump Rangers is a commentary on even just whether or not those things will last, the fact that they don't becomes a little bit of potentially a challenge at some point in the road to getting as many people involved in this game as possible. The other thing is obviously that it denies a certain amount of um, it denies a certain amount of creative opportunity to create those institutions and to create those brands and to create the archaeology of Earth. Matter of fact, now that I'm saying that out loud, I think there's a whole source book of Earth history that I could write if I just do it the other way. That's, you know what I mean? Like, and on top of that, given how many totalitarian governments there are in the planet right now, it could be very advantageous in terms of putting Jump Rangers into the hands of kids to not be making any claims about this or that government, because really it's not, pointing fingers is not the point. Empowering the kids, not necessarily critiquing the adults. This is the dilemma that I have. What say you? I think I maybe just talked myself into making it up, but tell me what you think.
I think making it up is a good way to go, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe as we play through at least this section, we can actually create a couple of pillars to shore that up as well. Because you're right. The thing is, there's always going to be something, but it's going to change anyway
Yes.
as to who and what and where and
But it's
why.
more about the systems and the ideas, and it's less about the brands and the identities. It's more about the habits that people have and the ways that they govern themselves and so on and so forth. I agree.
And being so far in the future, there's also, I mean, I don't, honestly, I do not recall when Earth was attacked, when humans had to leave,
It was
but
the
because
2050s. It was the 2050s.
okay, so maybe we're not to the point of like
And it's now
certain futuristic. Yes, we're not to the point of certain futuristic ideas, but
no, but you know what it also
seeing
does? The other thing that it does that I like, now that you say that, I should let you finish, and then I'll say what I say. Finish what you're
no, I
saying.
was just going to say there are some neat things that you can put in that become like landmarks and things without being too specific. But also there are some brands that aren't going anywhere, and so if you can do so without breaking licensing things, and not having to pay for licensing things, there are some fun places for you to put things in as well.
Yes.
Maybe you can't do Coca-Cola, but maybe there are still places where, just due to the way that it was, the energy was gotten to it, maybe it was hydroelectric instead of solar or whatever.
Yeah.
So there are places where lights still work, which means that there are billboards that sometimes still work. And that's kind of one of those things where it's like a signal of humanity when you can see the ever-changing board, but none of it makes sense, and none of it has context anymore, because what was there is old and completely useless at this point. It's archaic, and those things don't exist anymore, except as if you get to this sign, you see the guy, you see the dentist, right? Like, and then you see the real estate agent. When you see the real estate agent, then you do this. And they're like, a real estate agent? Where am I going to see a real estate agent? And then you see a big sign that is Karen Langer's real estate, whatever. And it's just, it wouldn't have context except as like a landmark or a signal or something that people can use, because humans are going to do that. They're going to find those ways to still communicate around all of this reality that is no longer centers them or is for them.
The other thing that I like about it, on top of, and that's all extremely good points. 300 years from now, people are going to have a lot of distance. No one's been to Earth in 300 years, 250 years, several generations. Anything that we might know as real today is so far removed from the reality that people live with in the future, and making that stuff up helps create that distance.
Mhm.
It helps give a sense of disconnect from that information that I think also, in terms of playing someone in the world, and you know what I mean, it helps make it feel a little bit more authentic, I think. Just because like it might as well be made up because no one knows it.
Yeah.
So why not just make. So I have to excuse myself for just a second. I'm going to be right back. Please talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna present the actual thing, and we're gonna talk through this. Okay, and then we're gonna play through the thing that we make up in this game. So give me 1 sec. I will be right back.
Yeah, we're gonna mess the world up. No, kind of what we do.
Just between you and I
Mhm.
totally turned down a 3-book deal today. But my studio needs me, and I don't have time to do both. So it's fine.
Well, yeah.
I'll have time again in the future, I'm sure. I don't know if I'll have an
In the
offer again in the future.
future. Yeah, you'll get there.
Yeah.
Yay, my pizza's in the oven at Domino's.
Nice. I texted my partner this morning and said, "Hey, fridge is kind of sparse. If you want something specific for dinner tonight," and then I realized I was supposed to make corned beef and cabbage, which I did not.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we had
Which
talked
I
about doing
totally
that. But...
totally forgot to put it on. So I actually did have dinner for tonight. Anyway.
One of the
Hey.
consequences of my brain damage is that sometimes my involuntary neurological systems do their own thing. So sometimes I have to take sudden breaks. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine.
So my first thought was that like Jell would want to go to Disneyland and take the oath at Disneyland because that's something that Jell has experienced. One of the things that I liked about Overwatch and that I thought was so creative was if back in Overwatch 1 days, if you folks ever played it, was the theme park that they built using all of the other Blizzard properties. Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
I thought that was so good. I thought that was fantastic and really cool. Blizzard's another conversation for another day. But
Another conversation for another day.
Yep.
Sometimes you gotta do that.
right after the brain injury, I was big into Blizzard properties. I was playing Heroes of the Storm all the time, and that's how I got into online gaming. Because one thing I learned is that engaging with the screen dilutes the sensory experience of dealing with other people to the point where it's basically one-dimensional as opposed to three-dimensional. You're not dealing with as much sensory input, even if it's a very engaging game with a lot of things going on. So,
Yeah.
So it became a really big social tool for me, and Star Citizen kind of grew up out of that experience for me. So
Ooh, I'm gonna fruit punch.
the question is, what kind of theme park would be as big?
Oh.
You know what I mean? Part of me thinks that it should be kind of more like, so if this was going to be something that sort of drew huge crowds, part of obviously what inspired Walt Disney to build Disneyland in the first place was the World's Fair,
Mm-hmm.
and the sense of people coming together to celebrate progress.
It's a small world after all.
Yep.
Sorry, I had to do it.
No worries.
Obligatory.
People coming together to celebrate progress and build something together, which is what Tomorrowland is all about in terms of its presentation, or at least was up until it became more a center of just sort of marketing for projects. It was always supposed to be like, here's what we're capable of, here's what we could be doing with our time right now. Who's helping? Who's an engineer? You know what I mean? Who's doing that? And it was always sort of getting kids to engage that stuff. And then it gradually, so more about content. So it starts off as people coming together to celebrate progress and culture. Because Disneyland in the very beginning was that paired with making books real. Like that was very much the thing, right? And then as content grew and as the company grew, they started using the parks to promote content, and eventually the content became the primary thing. And that company started gobbling up all kinds of other companies and all kinds of other properties in order to use their multilateral marketing basically to develop that content even further. There's a lot of good things and bad things that go into the history of Disney, and the sort of the dramaturgy of Disney is something that I've studied because my wife was very invested in Disney. Is that the same thing? Is that the thing that we think would have happened here, or do we think that there's any tweaks, anything that makes it more interesting than that? Is there another idea about what this place could be that makes it bigger, that makes it more impactful, maybe?
Good food.
What's that? Good food? Yeah, absolutely. Good food. Absolutely.
Good food always impacts.
Good food. Okay.
I think Bam Bam is becoming a connoisseur. Because of Ripper. Ripper makes the choices at dinner, and Bam Bam's like, "This is great."
Okay. Well, good food on Earth is a real challenge.
Yeah. Well, we'll find it.
Okay.
There's a can somewhere that's fine.
Okay.
It's in a vacuum. Okay. It's in a room that's completely void of oxygen for whatever reason or another.
Okay.
Or it's in Antarctica. It's fine.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. We'll go. Earth is just going to be a great adventure today.
So, now I've got to name this place. And what am I going to name it? I'm going to name it...
There's like part of me that's like, it's new something, and it's the name of a place that was like...
Ah, I see.
Or it's just got a unique name. Like home base.
I see.
Like something funny, like something kind of, I don't know, something cool.
So, the thing that jumps to my head is just Story Garden. Which it's not a garden at all. It's a huge, you know what I mean? It's a huge ruin at this point. But I'm thinking like it started off as a story garden. You know what I mean? A place where people would walk into stories and stories would grow up around them and those kinds of things would happen. It's not quite a compelling name, but then again, it would have been created at a time when compelling names weren't as competitive. Not everybody was like trying to find that perfect description. I mean, Disneyland itself is kind of pretty lazy.
And it is a kid's game, so we have to think about how kids would name things too.
That's true. Good point.
Because like, you know, like Orator Falls would be a bit of a mouthful for a child.
Exactly. Story Kingdom.
The arena. Book arena.
I think the arena is like a satellite.
Another, yeah, it's another spot.
Okay.
Where you go to PvP.
I always think of that episode, The Arena, from Star Trek too. I just always, every time I say the phrase arena, or I just say the words or the arena, I'm like, oh, the arena. Yeah.
All right.
Episode.
Story Kingdom, is it too on the nose?
Well, how about working title for now? And if you find if you think of something you like better,
yeah, okay,
then there it is. So working title.
Okay.
Working title.
I think in the Jump Rangers universe, I think that public domain things exist. Like I think that Peter Pan exists.
Yeah, no, classics exist, like because for a reason, because they're easy to retell. They're easy to carry down as a story. Yeah. There's probably some variations. Like they probably tell kids a version of Peter Pan that's a little bit more like their life.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say that there's like, it says about starting in, obviously London.
Yep.
It starts in a ship.
So Jell would like you to take her to the Story Kingdom.
Let's go. Let's go.
So let me just ask. If Jell was to explain what Jell wants, would you both know what this place is? Is this something you both would have heard about?
Yeah, I would think so. I would think
you're curious about. Would Ripper know about the Story Kingdom?
Ripper's hip.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's because, I mean, for starters, we already had to go through this, so we had to choose ourselves.
You did, yes.
And so
both of you have done research on Earth. In fact, knowing Earth and knowing the history of Earth and the culture of Earth and things about Earth is it's the blue rule. It's one of the rules of the Jump Rangers. It's part of the code.
Yeah.
Right.
You always want to be reminding yourself about where we come from in whatever way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's likely that, I mean, this is something there's a lot of information and a lot of imagery about. Neither of you have been there, and neither of you necessarily knows where it is. So
they'll figure it out.
This is where you figure it out. We've hit that point in the story.
Yeah. Because it makes sense that we are very different. So our choices would have been very different from Jell's. And Jell is really, that's one of the things that is delightful about this character that, whose choices we keep making for her, is that she's just inquisitive and helpful and happy to be along for the ride.
Yep.
Where, Bam Bam's got real serious goals and sees herself as pretty much nearly an adult, right? And takes her responsibility as senior partner here pretty seriously. And Ripper is an absolute chaos goblin who kind of wants to rule the universe.
Yeah.
And
a little
sees Bam Bam. Yeah, a little bit. And sees
that's okay.
Bam
I think
Bam
it's something they have in common. They both have a little bit of that. Like, because even though her goals line up with you, like she'd be the kind of person that'd be like, okay, like in 30 years, you want to be the president of all the humans?
And I think Bam Bam's really the only person that Ripper trusts for whatever reason.
Same. And I think they trust Jell too, but
yeah.
And we got this guy with us.
Is they feel very proprietary about Jell, and they're still wondering if Griffin's going to make it.
We got the guy with us.
Like, is Griff going to die? Griff might die.
Yeah, what's he up to? What's his
and how Griff dies may be very sketchy, and we don't want to talk about that just yet. Griff
is so this is a conversation that's been happening over the course of because traveling across space from planet Inferno to planet Earth takes some time, right? And just to remind everyone, this jump started from inside the atmosphere of planet Inferno. So you were literally in the middle of a starfighter chase.
Yeah, we were like, nope, bye.
Inferno, and you just planted a course and jumped into jump space. like in the middle of a city block with buildings on either side of you. So
Yeah, we pulled the,
that's right.
instead of fighting, it was like, no, we could, like, inadvertently do literally the max amount of damage possible.
And it was also something that could have been catastrophic to the ship, because
No,
you're moving
we're fine.
at the speed of light, and there are a lot of particles. They're air particles, but at a certain speed, they become significant. Like,
It's just like the bins. It's fine. We got a barometric
Well, I was
train.
going to say,
but
I had a moment of thought about the what was it? The Guardians of the Galaxy, the second one, when Rocket takes 700 jumps and the maximum safe jumps is like 50.
Yes.
He takes 700. And
Yeah.
I had that moment where I was like, what did we do to ourselves?
Right.
Oh, well, we'll find out.
There, I have become one with the universe now. I will ascend eventually, but you know, I got some stuff to do.
You did have that moment of like raw connection, and you just literally threaded the needle, not just through the cosmos, but through the atmosphere of planet Inferno. So this is not something
Space.
I would not. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest making it
No,
serious.
no, it wouldn't be a regular thing. It's a.
You got away with it.
That's what it is.
Got away
It's just
with
a
it.
moment.
So you've been talking. Griff has been paying attention. You've asked Jell where Jell would like to take the oath, and Jell has told you, I want to go to Story Kingdom. And
Okay.
and Griff is like, that's not a real thing.
Griff, there's a lot of things that people don't think are real. I've seen them be real. Okay. I am, but almost 11. I have lived the life of somebody that probably should be like 80. Okay,
That's actually pretty true.
Other life than you, Griff. And I can't even. I can't. I'm not even allowed to drink that fermented juice my mom keeps. Oh, Griff.
Bam Bam's got a wine mom. Pretty sure Ripper's being raised by her father. That's why she's so freaking wild.
That doesn't change the fact that Story Kingdom's a myth.
Like Space Pruno.
Oh, but don't forget, Planet Inferno was uninhabited.
There you go.
That's different.
Oh, so you were lying before, but this time you're not. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, if you spend all this time looking for Story Kingdom, some little fairy tale that they tell kids just so that they don't think that Earth sucks and people suck, yeah, you're gonna be disappointed. I don't know what to tell you.
You're not a jump ranger, so you don't have the map.
You also don't have a map. You have a wait? Do you have a map?
Of
That is
what?
for us. That is for us to know.
I have
Mr. Griff.
maps.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
have-
would 100% have maps of as many systems that I could find in my little data pad. Because I'm a pilot. I gotta know.
And getting back to
I gotta have
Earth is
GPS.
Earth is one of our jobs. It is a responsibility for us.
I bet that's something. I feel like that's something that like Bam Bam would always know how to find Earth. It would be
At
like
least
her
we have
North Star.
clues. Well, no, it's not Earth. It's finding this
Well, I mean,
place on Earth.
Oh, I mean, like the system, not
So-
the I
Yeah.
meant soul system.
Ripper, I'm going to ask you for a social roll on this to see.
Okay.
So this is a heart roll.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Unless
let's
you're
just
actually trying to
figure it
mind control
out.
this man, or outright trying to outwit him. But it doesn't seem like that's the case. It seems like you're trying to just appeal to his. Right? Would you say that? Tell me.
We have clues. We've heard things.
We know stuff.
Yeah. I am convinced that the only reason we're going to even think we can find this place is because somewhere we have received a clue. And it's none of his business.
Yeah.
But honestly, this might be
Confidential.
good. This might be good for him. He needs to just come with. He needs to chill out.
Yeah. He
Follow
needs
the
to
leader.
get back in connection with humanity.
This might be good for him.
But my question is, what exactly? This is either a mind roll, a spirit roll, or a heart roll. So my question is, how are you communicating this to Griff?
Oh no, I'm trying to scam Griff.
That's mine.
Okay.
I mean, I assume.
Okay.
I'm always trying to
That's-
scam Griff.
Okay.
You're playing the
At no
mind
point,
games.
at no point do I trust Griff enough to even try to appeal to his heart. That's Bam Bam's job.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just trying.
the diplomat. She's
I'm
the
just trying to put him back in line. He needs to
yeah.
remember we're
All
the
right.
boss. He's not the boss.
So
We're
we'll
the
call it a
boss.
mind roll. What do you have on this roll to use to your advantage? What are you bringing to the roll?
Well, as far as being able to debate this and convince him, farseeing, because knowing I have farseeing
No,
is definitely one of those things.
You're
Like
right.
clearly, I would know, right?
Yep.
Basic training, of course.
Yep.
Smart,
Yes.
traversal.
No.
Okay, fine. Improv,
Yes.
clever,
Yes.
clever and quick-witted.
Okay.
Because I've got to, hit him hard. Authority, which thankfully I got, and
Uh,
I believe that this would count for my third diplomatic role.
Oh shit! It would. Pardon my French. Yes,
Oh,
that's true. Okay.
I gotta look at
Okay. If you
mine.
pull this off, so that's a target of 7. No bonuses.
Okay.
Griff's mind is not terrifically strong, so I
Oh,
do
how
like
many
your
do I
chances,
have?
but do not play games with this die roll.
Okay, so it's 5. I have 5 die.
Target of 7. Oh no! Oh no! Griff! You need 4 victories.
I have 3 victories. I have 6, 8, 3, 4, and 3.
Oh, I should have assisted you.
Not
It's fine.
diplomatic.
Now I missed out on diplomatic.
Yeah.
I kind of hate you right now. Like I
Do you know
really
what?
do. I
Do you know
needed
what?
that so
Let's
badly.
be
Now I'm gonna have
honest
to
about
find a.
Ripper though. Like, Ripper's not diplomatic.
No, but I really needed some sort of skill to help me not always have to be like stabbing.
Cold and a
Just call
knife in
me
the dark.
Brutus. Just call me Brutus. Anyway,
Lester, are you in
There's
the
other
middle- Are you in
things.
the middle of?
There's other
Are you
things.
in the middle of working on a virtue right now?
Yeah, I'm working on cunning.
Cunning. Okay. How many cunning rolls do you
I
have?
have one. I have 1 out of 3
Okay. Okay. All right.
that I know of. I don't remember doing a second one last time.
Griff just looks.
I give up cunning for her to try at diplomacy one more time.
Oh, that's so sweet. No, that's not. We're not
Oh,
doing it.
dang.
We're not doing
Dang
it.
it.
I love it. I love it. I think that's beautiful. I like seeing the team work together. But I can't just let every single roll like.
I know.
This is one where Griff just shakes his head, looks at you, and he's like, "Jump Rangers." Puts his feet on his bunk. Let me know when it's time to go. Let me know when you get tired of looking.
oh good. Now we don't have to take him with us. Actually, I'm good with this. Let's bring him back a Twinkie or something. They'll still be real, right? Like they don't go bad.
Yeah, we'll bring you back a snack. God, grumpy.
So you have a planet. The water on this planet is kind of a silty tan color.
Okay.
The land masses on this planet are either similarly silty or just blasted in black. There's no greenery to be seen from space. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means there's not enough of it to show up this high up. The clouds tend to be a little bit yellow. It looks a little bit too much like Venus for anyone to be comfortable here. You can't breathe the atmosphere on Earth right now. You can't do it. It's not going to kill you outright immediately, but like, don't do that to yourself.
Yeah. It's not worth the risk.
It's not worth the risk. There's penalties for doing it. You know what I'm saying? You will.
Yeah,
You will start
that's stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid. Exactly. It's rough down there. There's gray parts, there's tan parts, there's blackened parts. The water is is muddy in an unpleasant way, and there are Saurian refining facilities, oftentimes on the water, just churning like opaque, you know what I mean, fluid out,
Hmm.
so that the whole bay sort of washes and stretches until it becomes a little bit more transparent and a little bit more murky and a little bit less just like mud, um, as it gets out to sea. does anyone does anyone know their geography? Does
For the
anyone
most, I
want
mean,
to does anyone
decently.
want to make a roll about
I'll
knowing
make
their
one.
geography?
I will, 100%.
Okay.
I
So
feel
this
like that's actually kind of Bam Bam's realm anyway.
Yeah.
so this is a mind check.
I mean, Bam Bam's watched a lot, like some Star Trek. Okay. Mind check. So let me get that up.
And then you'll tell me what you bring to this particular roll to make that mind check.
5. There we go.
Let's check and see if we have any viewers.
Basic, of course.
Oh, we have a viewer.
Um,
It's probably one of you.
yeah, it's me probably.
Yeah.
Piloting, I think, is my most relevant skill other than basic.
Nope.
Um,
Basic
combat
counts.
strategy don't count here.
I'm gonna give you piloting.
Yeah,
Because it's
it's relevant. Yeah. Assertive, focused,
no.
cool. Relentless. I think relentless, like trying to find something, can be a little
You're not looking
relentless,
for it.
but
I'm asking if you know
it's on.
roughly where it is right now. I'm asking if you have that information. So being
Oh,
relentless
I'm
or
Mm.
not,
rolling.
yeah, exactly. So if there's anything in there, so you have two right now. Piloting, like being able to get there.
I missed assertive.
Yeah.
I think asserting your knowledge here is going to be
No,
important.
I don't think so. I don't think because
Okay.
it's not so much about looking for the
That's
information.
Wait,
true.
intuitive. I have intuitive.
Yeah, I'll get that's okay. 3.
That's a pretty good one.
Yes.
I think those are fair because I don't think anything else goes with it.
Roll your
Mhm.
mind into a target of 3. Tell me how many victories you get. I want to see at least
A target of 3.
Yep. Tell me how many victories you get. You need 4 victories.
I have
It's
a
not
2 and a 1 out of 5 die,
okay.
and I'm gonna re-roll everything else is a 7 and a 6. For the re-roll on the 1, I got a 3.
Did I say you needed 3 or 4?
3.
That's 3 victories. Okay. So you know that um there was a relatively big continent. Um you know the rough shape of that continent, and you know that um Story Kingdom was near the coast. Um
The west or an east.
about on the west side of the continent, about halfway towards the equator. A little bit more than halfway towards the equator.
So it's in California.
So,
Okay.
yep. So
Okay.
you can take a look at the planet, and you can put your finger on the map. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where this should be. You don't
Like in
necessarily
the probably a rough like
On the
X
spot
amount
that
of
just
100
says Forney.
miles.
The
It's not
place
going to
we
make
know
it.
as Forney.
What's that?
I said on the place we know as Forney.
Yes. So
On that.
so that's a start. You know where to start looking, but there's a lot of construction and a lot of ruins all up and down this coast. So
Okay.
so who's piloting? Who's piloting?
Obviously me.
Okay. All right, let's make a piloting check to see. You're going to bring the ship
Yeah.
now. You're trying to
Body,
avoid
right?
Saurian. So there's going to be on top of the Saurian manufacturing and everything else that's going on. There's always going to be Dragon Starfighter, what you call them, patrols, and
Yeah.
patrols tend to fly in wings of 2. Just to give you a heads up.
Okay. So I gotta be smart about it. Smart
So
about how I approach and when I approach.
do you have any thoughts on how and when?
I mean, I would try to like monitor a patrol before approaching. So even if we sit there for like an hour and we're trying to like pick up patrol patterns, I would
Okay.
try to get some data to throw in for the area for patrol patterns,
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So
schedules.
you're gonna make a sensor
That I'm
check before
yeah.
you start heading down, and that sensor check is going to be a preparatory roll. Operating the sensors on this ship is difficulty of 2, so everything over a 2 victory that you get on this roll is going to help you. Okay.
Okay.
This is the sensor check is a mind roll.
Yeah. Figured.
What do you bring to this roll?
Okay. Okay, I bring basic. I think strategy is relevant here.
Yes, it is. Basic strategy.
Combat not so much, but it is kind of prep for combat, but strategy is
You are trying to avoid combat.
strategy is appropriate. Yeah,
So I will
yeah.
go ahead and give you combat. That's
Okay. Piloting obviously.
That's 4.
Assertive. I don't think this is assertive. I think this is actually pretty
Okay.
hands off. Focused. Yeah, this is focused for sure.
Yep.
Cool. I mean,
Nah.
having to remain cool if it's that concept of cool, but usually we use cool as like that looks so cool.
You may need the cool
Mhm.
in the next row, but not
Yeah.
yet. Not yet.
Relentless, no. Inspiring, no. Righteous, no.
No.
Intuitive, maybe.
Yes, I'll give you intuitive.
Okay.
If you have a bad feeling
Cunt.
about this,
I don't think this is a role for cunning, but maybe it could be.
I'll allow it.
To
I'll
try
allow it.
for it.
I'll allow
To
it.
try for it. Okay.
So you have a target of 7.
Okay.
You have your mind dice. Go ahead and roll and tell me how many you get.
Okay. And what I got 3, 2, 1, 8, 7.
3, 2,
I'm
1,
gonna
8,
read.
7. So that's 3
Yeah.
victories plus a reroll.
Yeah. And on the reroll, I got a 2.
Okay. So you have 2 automatic victories on your next roll. Go ahead and roll. So you record some data. There is a refinery. Basically, the Saurians are chewing up all the refined materials that they built the cities out of.
Okay.
And they're processing water in the process. They're just collecting water and shipping it off planet. So there isn't a spaceport down here. They're sending all that stuff around the planet to Alien City.
Okay.
But there are refineries and collecting bases, and there is a fair amount of air traffic between them. And where you're going, theoretically, is somewhere in that mix. So you're definitely looking to, you know what I mean? You're definitely looking to avoid. Okay. So.
Yeah, I just want to not be questioned. These are not the children you were looking for.
Right. And you're in a Saurian ship.
So, yeah, exactly. Just look like I belong, but not like don't bring attention to the ship in a way where they'll investigate it.
I'm going to give you 2 more automatic victories for the fact that you're in a Saurian ship. I'm just going to give you basically a.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, thank you.
So you have 4 automatic victories. Go ahead.
Okay.
And so this is the piloting check.
Yeah, making the approach.
It's basically the same, right? It's basically the same roll.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Exactly. Yeah, it's the same.
Okay. So go ahead.
There you go. 42263.
Okay. So you have 9 victories. You bring do you have a name for this ship yet?
Ooh, that's a good question. Ooh.
You know what Void says?
I know. What?
He says every good ship has a name. So we'll call this one.
They haven't?
What are you going to name this ship?
1 second. Huh. The ship, we'll call it Dang it. This is hard when you got Godzilla. And in one second, I gotta go deal with some.
Oh yeah, please. Okay. This is kind of a chill session. Are you good with this, Liz? Is this acceptable?
Yeah, this
Okay.
is the ship. The ship is Bam Bam's. Bam Bam gets to name the ship
Okay. Okay. But I mean, just in general, the
because
pace of action here is very low key. This has been a very
yeah.
relaxed.
Well,
Okay.
it's gonna. I know you. It's gonna pick up next time, so it's okay to have a little lead in.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, I picked a new. I picked a new virtue.
Oh, okay. Well, wait for the next session. But what's the new virtue?
Friendship.
You want a virtue. So what would be the you want an adjective describing your character? How does your character lend herself to friendship? In what way?
Compassion. I have Heartless.
I have
I
you
should be
want a
capable of
compassionate.
compassion.
You want compassionate?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Or
gonna give you
empathetic. Empathy. You know.
empathetic.
I'm
Empathic.
psychic. How can I not be empathic? You know.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Psychic without empathy is scary. Actually, if you think about it, that's freaking terrifying.
Which is how you'd
And
be
Ripper's
playing
a
the
little
character.
scary. Which Ripper's a little scary as it is. Ripper needs just a tiny bit of humanizing, which was why we were going for diplomatic anyway.
Okay. Okay. So empathic. Empathic is the
Yeah.
next one. Okay. All right. All right. All right. That's more specific than friendship too. And also,
Um,
I think it'll be easier for you to get empathic because there are times when you are reading people emotionally in ways that might not be immediately interpreted as friendly.
yeah.
Which
So far, all of them. But it would be nice to be able to pull people in just a little. I've got all these
Sure.
heart dice. You know,
Yep. Yep.
heart and spirit are my highest, and then you know, and
Oh.
my body is so weak.
Without going into details, we just submitted Jump Rangers for a grant proposal, and I am really hoping we get. There are one of the things I would really like to pick up with that grant money is the dice. Um, I have some really pretty dice lined up, and you and I. That's another thing that you and I need to talk about at some point is the pricing because I have people that I can go to, but also you have people I could go to. So I want to make
Hmm.
sure that we talk that through because there's I think they're going to be very pretty. I think it's going to be very compelling for people to like because my thinking is we just like send them out to everybody who pledges monthly on the coffee. Like spend the $1,000 just to get people invested in playing the game, and then
Hmm.
um, and this is on the internet. I don't have a problem with that. Just to be clear, just so that everyone's clear that I don't think I'm not on the internet. Um, we just offer up and I'll use the first payment that anybody makes, like $5 a month. Great, that's postage. And just send them out
Hmm.
and turn them over like that. I think would be fantastic just to get people. And if people are like, I'll just try it for a month, and they get the dice and they bail, that would be disappointing. But it's an acceptable loss, I think, in the end
Hmm.
to get
Yeah.
however many people start playing the game. Um,
Hmm.
and they're really really neat looking dice. I'm excited to be able to send you and Buster some proper 8-sided dice that aren't just on your phone. So I know Liz has some, but these are really good looking dice. I did a nice job on the Jump Range. I'm not a great graphic designer, but I'm proud of the Jump Rangers font, and I've sort of been adding to it every time I need new letters, and so I had to do the numbers 1 through 8, and it took me really not rigorous work, but it took me about 2 months to get it right. And now I'm like, it's right. It's exactly what it needs to be. You can read them. They're neat looking. It's very Jump Rangers esque. I am excited to get these dice into people's hands and get people playing with them. Anyways, Buster, you bring the ship down um, to not necessarily out of sensor range, but to the altitude that most of the cargo ships are flying at. You know what I mean? So you very wisely just kind of put yourself into the flow of air traffic around the west coast of the United States, and and
Yeah.
or whatever I end up calling it.
Yeah.
The Republic of United States. Um, or the RUS. uh, so you bring yourself into the flow of air traffic, and you have. I mean, visibility isn't fantastic in this atmosphere. It's very smoggy here. They're constantly
Yeah.
churning out garbage into the sky. Um, it's pretty hard to see how this world could ever be salvaged. It just
Right.
seems cooked. It's not,
It's kind of disheartening. Yeah.
but there's treasure in the mess. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's not cooked Venus cooked. It's not even cooked Mars cooked. But it is cooked like way past Flint, Michigan cooked.
Yeah.
Like it's not. It doesn't seem like a place where life is going to last all that long.
But by God, we'll find a way.
Well, you will. You will. We can talk about the book. I don't know if I've ever told you about the book, but the book that I wrote that Liz gave me notes on is called a game called Conquest, and it's about two
Mm.
jump rangers um, taking on that challenge and putting putting their best foot forward in terms of trying to exercise every possible resource in terms of saving Earth, and the conflict that causes against the Paxos brothers,
Mm.
who have their designs of winning a war against the Saurian horde and want that war to be won on their terms. And
Okay.
and in the middle of it, there's other ideas and other factions that kind of come out, and exploration of the galaxy, which I won't spoil if you're going to read the book. I will simply say there's a lot of space mice involved. We do have space mice.
Yeah,
And
I would totally read that. That sounds good.
thank you. I will pass it your way as soon as I finish this draft, which is going to be a little while yet. But as soon as I get it done, I will get it your way so you can see what's going on. But what I want for this book is the kind of, I don't know if you've ever played the Star Wars. You didn't play the Star Wars tabletop role playing game, but there's kind of like everybody who's ever played West End Star Wars has their Battle for Endor story. And there's part of this, especially during the Legends era, part of writing new Star Wars lore, and whether it was a novelist who was hired by Lucasfilm or whether it was a storyteller working with the tabletop role playing game material, there are more ways of inserting characters into the Battle for Endor. Like, like, and it got to the point where by the time they were done writing books, every single fighter that is on the screen that enters the Death Star is accounted for. Like, if you are aware of who the pilots are and what's going on and what happens, like, oh, that's Tycho's A Wing, that's this person's A Wing. And because every writer would be like, well, that A Wing's already been accounted for, but this is Mike, they were at the Battle for Endor, and here's who they were. Like, and it's all been scooped up. And anybody who's played the game has a story wrapped up in where they were during that battle. And I definitely want the Battle for Earth to have that kind of thing where every player gets the chance to say, this is what I did, this is where I was, this is how I contributed. And so building out that lore, almost in a kind of Shadows of the Empire kind of way, but hopefully way better. In terms of how it's executed and how it invites participation. Because the problem with Dash Rendar was that there was no room to participate. Like, how can you tell players, here's where you it there wasn't it didn't have that kind of like, it didn't change the game. It deliberately tried not to. Whereas the fall of the Empire was a pivotal moment in Star Wars lore, and everybody wants to be there and have their story told in terms of how they contributed to that. So that's a big part of what I want from that book. And there's going to be a source book. There's going to be all kinds of like, here's a couple of stories you can run in this series of events. Here's an entry point. Here's an entry point. That's what I want. Anyways, flying low. lots of smog. It's going to be really hard for you to identify this place visually. Does anybody have any ideas? And there's more than one way to crack an egg. Like, remember, this is Jump Rangers. You have mind, body, um, heart, and spirit. Does anybody have any thoughts on how to find Story Kingdom? Oh, am I not coming through? Test.
But I
Oh,
can't hear.
I was the one that was talking and not
Okay.
realize. Okay. I was on mute, obviously, on accident. So I was saying, like, you kind of do like the old school thing, old school sci-fi, like, so, scan for human life forms. But
Okay.
or the other thing is what do we know solidly about this place? Because we can also like scan the atmosphere in the area to figure out from there what is most likely.
Well, if the mythology exists, if the story exists, then that means that there will be defining characteristics that were talked about in the
Exactly.
story, whether
Yeah.
it is a landmark, something like a particularly large set of ruins,
It
like
is. It
things
is.
that would be around them. So I feel like
It
there's
definitely
something.
changed the skyline of the area where it was located. It definitely, like, in the pictures that you've seen, it is like many of the tallest structures in the area are part of this place. They built
Okay.
they changed the topography of the land to build this place. They built water features. They built so-called mountains. They built bridges. It was a public works project when it was built, unlike any other, for sure. And only about 50 years later did anybody even try to build anything remotely as ambitious.
And this is like current humans that have built this place, or this is like a place
No,
that
this is
existed?
old.
This
This is a
is
place that
Okay.
this is
existed.
about 400 years old.
Okay.
So we're looking for what remains
Yep.
of that would be particular or
And it's on a
unique to
coast.
that area.
Do
Yeah.
we know if it's like right up against the water or if it's a little inland?
Make a mind roll. It's not
Okay.
just roll your dice and call it
Yeah.
difficulty of 2.
Yeah, whatever. Well, give me 1 second.
Target of 7.
Let me make sure.
Target of 4. Difficulty of 2.
I'm pulling up my character sheet again to make sure my mind is. Yeah, it's my spirit that's the lowest. Okay. I got a 7, 6, 8, 1, 5.
Reroll the 1. Oh, there's an 8.
Yeah. And then on the rerolled 1, I got a 1.
Reroll the 1.
6.
Nope. You have no idea.
Dang. Okay. So, what would have been the biggest city? Because it sounds like that would be the best place to start. Like a long time ago, what would have been the biggest city?
You gotta
In
remember.
at least off this coast.
You don't know unless you do.
Yeah.
You can make a roll for that, but this was 400 years ago. Name the biggest city in Colombia.
Yeah, which part of Colombia?
We're all neurodivergent, so that actually wasn't fair. But do you understand the point that I'm making?
Yeah.
I
actually meant to say district of or actual Colombia. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, I see.
And then I would have been like district of. Yeah, like I wouldn't have like access to maybe like old maps or something or a way to find an old map.
Yeah. Well, somebody can do a deep dive into their
Yeah.
their
pad.
You both have data pads. You've got lots of records that you've carried over the years in your data pads. You can run a
Yeah,
search.
find like an old first start with like an old Earth map, and then figure out, okay, this is where we are
Right now,
based on what I know.
right now, Griff is leaning back and just being like, "I told you, I told you."
Griff.
I don't know what game you're playing here, but we have things to do. We need to deliver this armor.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we
You.
keep playing like we wouldn't know where it was, but the fact of the matter is, if this existed and if we are jump rangers and if all jump rangers have to go back to Earth, we absolutely would have had good clues. So I keep asking what those clues would be. Do we scan for a particular kind of ruin? Do we scan for a particular kind of person? I don't think that humans would necessarily flock to this place.
I mean, we
I
know it's
think
big.
that,
There are very few, if any, people on Earth at any given time.
well, that's what I mean. And that
So-
this is not a place where I think that they would flock to.
No, it's not.
So-
It's not. Most of the people in this solar system, just so that you have a sense of like what's going on, most of them, meaning like 99% of them, are on Mars,
Or off-world. Yeah.
specifically at a
Right.
base called Hawk's Nest. Hawk's Nest exists to observe Earth. So
I just feel like we're overcomplicating this. Like, are we complicating this when it doesn't need to be this complicated? And
Yeah, that's my concern
and I keep
too.
leaning into this because, like, I'm telling you, if jump rangers keep going back to Earth, this is not the first time one has wanted to go there.
that's
It
probably
is not where Ripper would have wanted to go, but definitely it is a popular one.
Yeah.
That's the
There's,
thing I
like-
keep saying is there would have been clues left for us because this is gonna be a popular jump ranger spot. It is. Kids are gonna love this shit. They're gonna want to know if it's
Okay.
real. They're want to go
Okay.
there. So those clues would absolutely have existed.
Like
Because
maybe,
and that's why I said, like, what have we set up so that we can find this place again? Because it's going to be popular with jump rangers.
I
Like,
see.
absolutely 100%. This is going to be one of those places. Like, an adult would be like Caribbean, kids going to be like Disneyland,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And
Yep.
so I know Griff may be sitting back going, whatever, but we know, I know we know, because we, like I said, it's probably not Ripper's place, but somebody with whimsy
Okay.
exists in the Jump Rangers.
Yeah, okay.
That's going to be,
That's a
it's got to be a popular
Go
one.
ahead. Go ahead and work your data pad with this approach. So you are making a mind check.
I just got myself stuck with a roll, didn't I? Okay.
So you've got a
My bad.
You got a mind check. Now what do you have on your character sheet to help you in this search for what? Because you're right. That makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, the basic and the farseeing are my two
Okay.
trainings.
Yep.
And then I've got smart,
Yes.
traversal,
Yes.
curious,
Yes.
brave, clever.
Clever. Yes.
Okay. Mindful. This is a mindful thing.
Yes,
This is
yes,
something we're
it
going
is.
to be like,
Yep.
um,
So you're at 7 now. Here's where
and
we
authority.
No.
I am going to argue that one because again, we know, and we know, even if we don't have the exact place. And Griff is pissing me off right now,
Okay.
and I am claiming the authority right now
Okay.
because I'm going to prove to him that he is wrong, and there's a reason he's following us and us not following him. But that's just my argument.
Okay. All right. You have 7 plus 1. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. I got nothing else.
Okay.
Nothing else counts.
What's your mind?
5.
5 dice into a target of 7. You have 1 automatic victory. I'm going to say you need 4 victories total.
Okay. All right. My victories are 6, 4, 1, 5, 4, and 7.
Okay. Okay. So you tell Bam Bam to find a very specific 8-lane roadway.
okay.
Okay, that's scannable.
And-
Okay.
and-
Yes,
and-
that is scannable.
And you follow that roadway south. In as direct a line as possible. And just after you pass the real estate agent, you tell her to direct scans westward.
Mm.
Okay. Now, turns out this is a good deal more inland than you expected it to be. And that's
Okay.
literally because so much of the water has been taken.
Oh,
um,
That makes sense.
which
that
is
makes
a
sense.
little bit terrifying. But it's not hard to find because the parts where the water has been taken doesn't have ruins on it.
Yeah.
it's all just Saurian
Seabed.
construction at that point. Well, it's yeah, Saurian seabed and Saurian refining, um, which is advantageous for them because they have access to parts of the ground that they didn't necessarily have access to before. And moments later, your scans start lighting up this whole strange array of structures. There's a giant wheel in the sky. There's a number of literal mountains with skeletons in them that you can see on the scanners, and in some cases bridges between them. There's statuary. There's crumbling um, tracks overhead. There's warehouses with facades and just all kinds of mechanical nonsense inside. This obviously this is it, and there's a couple of different sort of centers of this kind of construction with a massive plaza in the middle.
Okay.
Um, and that's where you set down. That's where
Yeah.
you set down Godzilla.
Yeah.
I'd say Griff could get off the ship, but I don't trust him not to leave without us. So
I don't think he can,
good.
if that's any consolation. Griff is not going to be able to astrogate. So even if Griff did steal the ship, he wouldn't have
Yeah,
anywhere
that's
to
true.
go. Other than
That's
maybe
true.
Mars. He could go to Mars. But he can't do a jump. What you did with this ship is way beyond his capabilities. He's really scared to lose
I think it was up beyond our capabilities. Actually, we're going to be real honest about it.
So
That was an absolute miracle.
Griff is going to slap a breather in his mouth, kind of Star-Lord style, and follow you out.
And you know what? I have a feeling that Jell is being really nice to this guy because it's their first time on Earth. I'm just saying,
Jell is
like,
not a spiteful person.
no,
Jell doesn't.
I
Yeah,
I got that covered.
Jell does not hold a grudge, and ultimately, Jell. Part of the reason why you like Jell is because Jell wants everybody to fulfill their potential. Jell's a
Yeah.
very hopeful person, which you have to be. I mean, Griff may think that Griff knows what hardship is,
Yeah.
but Jell was
Try
salvaging.
living on a bug planet.
Yes, there was nothing to eat but bug innards for for years. Jell survived harvesting water from dead bugs.
Ew.
Only
Yeah.
leaving the
Ugh.
house when she smelled like bug pooped. There was
Glad we got those people out of there.
yes, that was
Yeah.
hard. Now they
That was
adapted
another
well.
Hail Mary.
Yep.
We do those a lot. One of these days, it's not going to work for us.
I don't
We've
want to
been
think
very
about
lucky 3 times now.
I don't want to think about Jell's diet previous to this.
So the gates have rusted and kind of caved in on themselves.
Yeah.
There was a lot of metal used in the sort of facade and construction of this place, but there are still steel arches with various pieces of plaster and other things that have managed to survive over the course of the years that give a sense of shape and scale to the space that you're seeing.
Okay.
And the lot of you kind of make your way through. Now, there's a couple of things that are going to happen here. Jell's going to find a place to take the oath. Jell's going to find basically a souvenir to take back with her. And right away, Jell's very satisfied to find a token, just an entrance token,
Oh, that's cool.
which you see Jell pocket, literally open up, just like in a space movie, just like any scientist, open up one of the little pouches on the side of Jell's jumpsuit, slides the token in to take back with her, so that she always remembers that Earth is a real place, and that it's worth fighting for, and that we came from somewhere.
What did you take, Bambo?
I pull out like a little badge with a little, it's kind of shaped like that. It's got a little star in the middle of it.
Like a
It's for that
pilot's
show.
badge?
No, it's like a Star Trek badge.
Oh, it's a Star Trek badge. Oh, okay.
I like that.
I mean, it's like beat to it's probably like burnt to a crisp. It's metal, but it's like super dirty and old and gross. But it's like clearly like she rubs on it enough that it's like over the years you can tell where it's got spots where she's gotten it clean finally. But it's not quite shined up yet.
What about you? Says Jell.
I have a fossil. Small,
Of what?
just a little trilobite. Because I wanted to remember a place that had water, even though I still had never seen an ocean.
Hmm.
I would have been that kid who wanted to be a marine biologist.
Hmm.
Really likes sharks.
But then like Bam Bam is also, and it's a really cool rock. It's just a nice rock.
The rock. I know,
It's like
right?
really like be perfect to skip. It'd be perfect to like use as, as anything. It's just the perfect little rock. Everybody
Okay.
loves a perfect rock.
Where are we taking Jell? Do we get to take her up high? Do we get to take
We're
her
up high
somewhere where she
all
can
the
Jell,
look?
time.
Jell looks around and starts making her way towards the Ferris wheel. It's huge. It's unstable, but Jell's very light, and she feels pretty confident in her climbing skills. So we're gonna go ahead and let Jell, unless you want to stop her, try to climb up
No.
there.
Mm-mm. She's good. We trust her.
Oh, that's 2 1s. We like that.
See, she's fine. She's gonna do great.
Come here, baby. Come here.
There
And
we
if
go.
she doesn't, well, we'll fix it somehow.
Yep.
I still have my
Same
hoverboard.
rules. Oh,
We
that's
can cushion
perfect.
a fall.
Okay. So Jell finds the maintenance ladder up the side of the Ferris wheel. There's all kinds of old fencing and things. A lot of it has just melted into the ground. And starts making her way up to the top. And Griff waits at the bottom while the two of you follow her up.
I make sure I have the keys of the ship.
That's wise. That's
Sure.
wise. The ship doesn't
There you
really
go.
have keys because the underswords don't steal things.
I know, but you know what I mean. He doesn't know how to use it. He better not fly off because he doesn't know how to pilot it like I do. I'm an expert now.
It's a reasonable fear to have. Um, let's see.
I could always jump down on him if I needed to.
So Jell makes her way all the way up to the top and climbs along the edge of the Ferris wheel until she finds a a, a rotting, springy uh, cart that's still hanging.
Oh, nice.
She makes her way and sits down into it. And from here, you can see just as far as you could see from the ship, but there's nothing in between you and the world.
Mm.
The earth is just spread out before you, and there's all of these constructions that at some point in the past were built to delight and inspire people, and they were built by people to delight and inspire people and to remind them of where they come from. And then beyond that is just the trappings of a world that used to exist. There's apartment buildings that are still slowly falling apart. There's buildings of commerce, buildings of business, just spread out as far as the eye can see, and very visible through the swirling fog. Jell sits there and looks out across the landscape and says, I swear that I will do everything I can for the human race, and that I will live by the code of the Jump Ranger until I turn 18 years old. There's one thing left to do, Rangers. You know what that thing is? Jell can never be
Beat it.
called Jell again until she turns 18 years old. Because her parents can't know what she's getting into.
Oh, she needs a new name.
Yep.
Hmm.
I guess Bug would be mean, huh?
What's that?
Yeah.
I said Bug would be
mean.
mean, huh?
Bug?
Yeah.
That's a
No.
great name.
That or Grasshopper.
Well,
It's a different bug.
you say Bug and Jell smiles. You literally say that. I guess Bug would be mean, and Jell says, "I am a bug. I am Bug. Ranger Bug."
Buggity bug! How you do?
Of the regulars.
Because she's small and can get into places better than even we can anymore.
Yep.
And nothing can get past her. And sometimes she smells like Bug.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. All right. Ranger Bug of the regular corps. So, we're wrapping things up here, but just to get into a couple of details, it takes Bam Bam maybe 3 or 4 hours to find a food container, a storage container, specifically a refrigerator that hasn't been eaten away so much. And sure enough, inside you find dry goods and some canned goods that have managed to stay the test of time. You find sweets, you find nuts, and you
We could
find
plant them. We're gonna save the earth and everybody one nut at a time.
The three of you eat like 400-year-old chili.
That is pretty good though.
And candy and nuts. Before you drop off Jell at Hawk's Nest on Mars.
You mean bug?
Bug, that's right. That's right. And you meet with Commander Northwind, Bridget Northwind of Hawk's Nest, the eponymous Hawk herself.
You never even got to ride my hoverboard on Earth.
When I meet her, I just go.
You absolutely ride your hoverboard on Earth. You absolutely ride your hoverboard.
When we walk up, when I see her, I just go.
And as the three of you two, and Griff are getting ready to head back and figure out what the hell you're going to do with the suit and everything else, standing in the hangar bay, there's a massive hangar bay, much like there is on Planet Link, here on Hawk's Nest. Jell, Ranger Bug, walks up and shakes your hands, says, "Go high and go far, Ripper."
Go high and go far, Bug.
Go high and go far, Bam Bam.
Heck yeah, you too. Go high, go far, and don't be a stranger, all right? All right.
Alexa, off. And a few tear-filled moments later, you two and your erstwhile companion are rocketing up into the skies over Mars.
And I assume he's quiet.
Oh, he's quiet. He's not saying a word. He's got nothing to say. I will let you figure out how to capitalize on that in our next session.
Yeah. Yeah, he better be pretty awestruck.
He is.
At how important we are.
He is. And that's probably as good a place to leave it for today as we're going to get. So this is where we'll sign off for today. We'll be back next week to figure out what's going to happen with this suit.
Yeah.
I've got to go let my wife in, so I'm going to log off.
Yeah, I got to go too.
Thank you to anybody who's catching this. We'll be back next week. Anybody got any last words? Nope. Don't be a stranger, Ranger.